Good morning, 10th standard. Welcome back. We have done till fourth question of exercise 5.2 of your NCERT textbook. Let's continue from there. The next question that we have is question number 5. Question number 5 from exercise 5.2. It's on page number 106 of your NCERT book. Let's take a look at the question. Find the number of terms in each of the following APs. So you have been given arithmetic progressions. You have to find out how many terms are there. Now this question can only be done if you have a finite AP. Means you know from where the AP begins and you know where the AP ends. You have a starting term and you have an ending term. The last term is also referred to as or represented by L. Let's take a look at the first part. The AP that we have is 7, 13, 19, so on, and it goes up to 205. So the first term is 7, second term is 13, so on. The last term is 205, and we want to find out how many terms there are. And this actually means we want to find out what is the position of 205 in this AP. So if we have the first term as 7, the second term as 13, so on, the last term, since I don't know what the last term is, so I can simply write it as last term. It can also be represented by L. Its value is 205. So if I say that there are n terms in the AP, so if I just say, for example, there are 15 terms, that would mean that the last term is the 15th term. Same way, in this case, I'm saying let us assume that there are n terms in this AP. This would mean that the last term is an, because n represents the last position. So the last term will be written as an, which is equal to 205. Now, as I told you earlier, whenever you have been given an AP, always write down the value for A and D. That's what I'm going to do here. The first term is 7, and the common difference can be obtained by subtracting any two consecutive terms. So let's subtract the first term from the second term. The common difference is 6. Now let us use these values over here. The formula to find out the nth term is A plus n minus 1 times D equals to 205. Using the values of A and D as obtained, this is what we get, and the purpose is to find out n, the number of terms. So 6n minus 1 equals to, so just simplifying and trying to obtain the value of n. So from here n comes out to be 34. So we can write down there are 34 terms in given AP, and the last term, now this is not required, I'm only writing for you to understand. The last term will be A34, and the value of the last term is 205 from the given AP. The second part of this question, we have been given the AP as 18, 15 and a half, 13, so on up to minus 47. Again, you can note that this is a finite AP. We have a starting term, we have an ending term, and we want to find out how many terms are there in this arithmetic progression. Or simply stating, we want to find out how many terms are there in this list. So again, first of all, we are going to write down the value of A and D. The first term here is 18 and the common difference can be obtained by subtracting two terms in backwards order. So second minus the first term, this is A2 minus A1. So simplifying, this is minus 5 by 2. If you want, you can change it to mixed fraction. So this is the common difference for this arithmetic progression. Now after you have written the first term and the common difference, let's get back to our question. We want to find out how many terms are there. So I am just going to assume that let the number of terms be n. Then the last term will be an, and according to question the last term is minus 47, and that's how I'm going to obtain n. According to question, the last term is minus 47. I'm going to use the formula for the nth term, simplify my equation by using the values of a and d. I'll be able to find out n. Now I have the last term as minus 47. I'm just going to use the formula for an, and in the formula I'll be substituting the values of a and d, which I have obtained already. A is 18, n minus 1 multiplied with the common difference. Now I'm keeping the product here, minus 47 transposing 18. Simplifying to obtain the value of n. So from here n comes out to be 27, and we can write down that there are 27 terms in the given AP. Let's take a look at question number 6. Check whether minus 150 is the term of the AP 11, 8, 5, 2 and so on. You have been given an AP and you have to check, if you keep on writing the terms of this AP, whether or not there will be a term whose answer would be minus 150. So if you continue completing this list of arithmetic progression, whether or not you will see minus 150 in the list or not. This is what we want to find out. And we will assume that yes, there is a term which is minus 150, and we will try to find out its position in the AP. If we are able to find out the position of minus 150 in the given AP, then it would mean that yes, we will have minus 150 as a term in the given AP. And if we are not able to find out the position of minus 150, then we will say that no, minus 150 is not a term of the given AP. And how we are going to do this, let's write down. So the AP given to us is this. We have 11 as the first term, 8, 5, 2 as the following terms. The first thing I want to do is I want to write down the first term, which is 11, the common difference, which is minus 3. So after I've written A and D, now I will look at my question. I want to find out, is minus 150 a term of this AP? So if you keep on writing the terms, will you see minus 150 in the list or not? So for this, let us assume that yes, we will see minus 150 at some place. Let an equals to minus 150. So this actually means there is a term in this given AP with value minus 150. Now we don't know where that term is, so I have written it as an in the general form. N will tell us what the position is. So just like the previous question, I'm going to use the formula for an. I have the values for A and D. I'm going to use those values and try to find out N, which is going to tell me at what place minus 150 will appear in this AP. So take your time to simplify. So this is what I have. Negatives get cancelled. So 3n minus 3 equals to 161. From here, the value of n comes out to be 164 by 3. Now what you will see is this is a decimal number. If you want to give the answer, it is a decimal number, or I could say a fraction, because a fraction can be written as a decimal number. So, and what we are looking for actually is n represents position. Therefore, it is always a counting number. Counting number means it is always a natural number. And this is what we want to see here. The answer of n, the value of n should always be a natural number. And what we have obtained here, the answer of n is a decimal number. So that means this is not possible. We thought that minus 150 is a term in the given AP, but it is not so. So you can write down that no, minus 150 is not a term of given AP. So every time you're doing a question and you want to find out the position of a term which is represented by n, the answer should be a counting number. It cannot be a fraction, it cannot be a decimal number, and it cannot even be a negative integer.